Hi guys, this is Bhaskar Bray. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In the last video, I've shown you how to get familiarized with the R Studio and different components used in the R. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what are the data types and or data structures present in R. If you see these data types, it's just similar to the functions which we present in C, C++ as a data types. Okay, in these data structures in our basically there are mainly to say they have vectors, factors, data frames, matrices and list. Okay, these are some of the primary data types present in R. Okay, let me go one by one and show you the with examples. Okay, first let me go with the vectors. Okay, simultaneously let me show you the practical also. Okay, before showing that in practical, I just wanted to give you a brief thing how to clear this console and how to clear this environment variable. Last time I think I forgot to show you. Just press Ctrl L here to clear the console. To clear the history here, we can just use this command remove. We have something called list. So if you want, so if you press Ctrl tab, you get the IntelliSense. So you can see here for the list, you can just type ls and just run this command. So you can see this is the environment, global environment, all the variables has been cleared. So I'm just pressing Ctrl L. Meanwhile, as I told last time also, it's better to store that in a script so that you can use a later point of time the same thing. So I'm going to create a new script here, and I'm going to this is a comment actually. And one more thing is the vector is the most simplest structure in R. Okay, if data has only one dimensions like say single digits, then vector can be used to represent it, a single dimensional array. A vector is an object that contains a set of values called its elements. Let me show you an example of how we. So this is assignment operator. We are assigning to the x, concatenate or combine. Say like I've given a 6 digits. Press Ctrl Enter. So you can see the below console window. It's running here, and you can see this the x in the environment variable here. It has been loaded like 1 to 6 elements. These are called elements in the vector. Okay, each object is called an element. And this is generally a numeric vector. This type of vectors are similarly we can even create a character vectors like instead of them, let's give us a meaningful name saying that states Karnataka, AP, MP. Okay, so if I run this statement, you can see this in the states we have it displays the list temp value. So to know the frequency of the repeated values in an object or variable, we can use this table function, table state. Press Ctrl Enter. So if you see here, you can see the result all are 222. So instead of that, to better have a different number, I'll just change this Kerala to Madhya Pradesh, and again run this both the queries. So if you see here, the Kerala one, it's the count of Kerala state has been reduced to 1 and Madhya Pradesh has been to 3. So this is how we can get the frequencies of the elements present in a vector. And to generally to calculate any arithmetic operations like mean or something, so you can here before and moreover this NA indicates not available list. Okay, so if I run So we have here 1 to the assigned for x variable assigned is digits from 1 to 6, but in the secondary times again for the same variable I'm assigning from 1 to 6 with n included in that. So it what it does is it overwrites the variables whatever we ran at the second time. See, if you see in the history also, you can in the environment variable you can see that list. Okay, if you have so much, if you want to again cross check that, you can just run selecting x and control enter, so you can see this list here. So if I try to get the mean for this vector, the result got me is not available, since we have the one null value if you say in other languages. So we need to remove that. So how to remove that? So we have some function called first pass the list. So we have na dot remove, set it to true. You can just write t or write full true. Okay, control enter. And one more thing I forgot to say, this R is a case sensitive, so be careful like what if you're writing a small letter or capital letter. So after this I just wanted to show you how do you generally select subscript to refer to each element of an vector. Okay, so to select each the particular element of a vector, suppose we have this vector, assume that I'm again running this. So now I have x's in this variable, I have 1 to 6 elements in that. So I just wanted to select say I just want to select a particular one, saying that x is equal to 3, sorry 2, anything. Okay, enter. We get as a 2 the value of the 2. Since these are all in a sequential order, you may get some dot. Okay, let me add something here instead of this. We get 5. Since 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, since the order is in increasing order, so whatever you added, you are getting the same value. So let me change this to some other thing. Let's keep it as 3. And now if you run it, I need to get the values as 6. See, just to make sure that you are not getting confused, so I just changed to from 5 to 6. Okay, so I just don't want to get dragged about this. One more thing is we have what is called factor. Okay, so let me give some details about this factor. Generally R has a special data structure to store these what is called categorical variables, and when you say the what do you mean by these categorical variables, is nothing but factor variables are categorical variables that are either a numeric or a string variable. And moreover, there are a number of advantages converting these categorical variables to a factor variable. Okay, let me take what do we say, gender. Okay, assign it to some level. This is some of list so we have factor which pass that to gender. Control enter. So now if you run this, you again get the same 4 and 3. So instead of that, to get more, gender comma and pass the whatever, let's see other values whatever we have. So we have levels. Levels is like only 1 and 2 we have, and we keep labels. For 1 is male and 2 is female. Okay, now let's run these things. Okay, so again let's run this frequency of the thing. So if you see, now we have a little bit more what do you say, meaningful info when compared to the first one. Okay, this is how we can use fact. or you can just drop me a comment or just send me your mail ID, so I'll just forward these files to you guys. When we come to matrices, what are these? These are generally used when data is higher in dimensional order array. Okay, if it's a single dimensional array, we can use just vector those things. But it contains only data of a singular class, or all the values in these columns in a matrix must have the same mode, meaning it contains of numeric numbers or characters like that. Okay. Um, there are generally several ways how do we create matrices. Okay, let me show you a couple of ways. One thing is you can use a bind function. Okay. So let me create 3 vectors. That please remember. Okay, see bind and pass all the vectors here. So we just wanted to know display what are there present in this matrix demo variable. So you can see this is all the variable what do you say the values of the matrix shown here. And if you observe the in the console window, the numbers on the left side of the bracket here are the row numbers, and the one and the blank following that comma, this represents the whole column values are displayed. All the column values are displayed here. And moreover, to see the dimensions of the matrix, you can just use a function called something called like dim. Okay, dim of. Okay, we have that 5 rows and 3 columns. Okay, 5 rows and 3 columns. And even you can get correlations also from the matrix using core function. Okay, so you can do several other things using this matrix. This is the first way, and the second way I'll just show you using the how you can just use the matrix itself rather than bind function. Okay, we have these matrix functions. In this you can assign saying that here we again need to pass something called number of rows and columns. Rows, let it be 2. Okay, and they should be in a correct dimension, or okay, so let me run this. Okay, we have, so if you see, we have you can see both here the square bracket 1 and command space, which represents it is being displayed all the rows. And if you see here in the top also, we have space comma 1, indication that it is displaying all the rows respect to that columns. Okay, to select any particular element of any matrix, we can bracket you can mention saying that sorry, this is a case sensitive, so we need to pass the caps itself, 1 comma 2. So you can it's saying that first row and first row with the second column, so the value is 4, just nothing but here. So this is how we can select a particular value. So apart from that, what we have something called data frame. Okay, probably this is taking a lot of time, so still I have a couple of data types, so I'm just going to continue in the same tutorial itself. One thing I got to know from this is I just want to make sure that I run this command, write this command before itself. Okay. The data frames. What is a data frame? This is nothing but a single table with rows and columns of data. It can contain columns of different data types, whereas in the matrix we contains only a single column data, single data type. Here in the data frames, it can contain the different data types like numeric, characters, factors, etc. Okay. And moreover, these data frames are nothing but it's similar to SAS, which contains data sets in them. It contains variables and records. And this data frame, data dot frame, we have something function called which is used to combine this data dot frame. This is a function used to combine these variables, the vectors and factors, into a data frame. Okay. So since we already have this function, I'm going to use the same things here. And apart from this, let me give you what I say, gender. Okay, we have a gender also here. So my data frame. Okay, just giving the variable name as my data frame. Data dot. We have a function for that data frame. So pass all the variables into this. Control enter. Sorry, for different length is saying. Data frame XYZ gender. An argument is simply differing the number of rows in 5 and 7. Run this. Okay, let me run this again. Okay, let me first again apply this. Okay, I think I have not run because probably I would be messing up these variables in the above experiment like matrices. So in this data frame, now we can see this data frame is created. Let us see what is there present in this. You can see that it even contains a numeric as well as characters. Pass on to the class to know the what are the data types it contains. It's a data frame. We have something called structure actually to know. So if you see here, it gives all the numbers, factors as well as. Okay, this is a data frame of 5 objects of 4 variables. So this is about the data frame. So now we have one more thing called finally a list. Okay, these lists are recursive vectors, can handle different data types, and moreover it allows you to store a variety of objects in that, and more very flexible also when compared to other things. Okay, and again I'm going to take the same thing to save the time, and let me take this also, same data. And moreover, if we don't want to run this because it's almost presented directly, you can take it from here and just execute it, and it will be there. And to create that list, we have something called just a variable name, list, and pass to the list all the variables. So you can see the list has been created here, list of 4. Just select that and run it. So you can see this console how the list has been provided here. And moreover, to select any one of the particular element in any of the list, you can just provide it in this way. It's just samples. Sorry, 4. It gives you the last list from the list of various rows. So if you want in the list 4, we want a specific element, like what you say, the first one. So you again in the square bracket mention as 1. You can again see if you got the first one. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe my YouTube channel.